Hello, I'm Bob the Booker and welcome to my channel. Apologies, this is going to be a slightly less edited, I guess, video and with some slightly strange lighting, and that's mostly just because I've pretty much come straight from work. I'm about to go to bed. I'm up really early and out tomorrow, so let's just get this done now. I basically wanted to drop in and say how very exciting this is that Annie Ernaux has won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Incredibly well deserved. She's an author who has sort of been tipped for it for a few years now. And it's also one of the first Nobel Prize winners in a while where I've actually known some of their work at the time of them winning. So it's actually exciting because I sort of can have opinions on them, as opposed to the last few where I've been like, I'm sure they're great. I have not read any of their work yet. But Annie Ernaux is a writer of just some absolutely fantastic books. They are they're non-fiction, but they have a real narrative to them that feels very much like fiction at times. Particularly a book like The Years is sort of threading together Annie Ernaux's personal stories and sort of diaries with what's happening globally and sort of politically. So particularly the sort of rise of sort of Islamophobia, for example, or the rise of fascism in various parts of the country and all these other things happening. And I just found that book deeply, deeply moving, as I did with Exteriors, which has a sort of similar feel. But Annie Ernaux just has such a broad range of books. I think I've maybe read 6 or 7 of hers, and they all, as much as they feel very Ernaux, they all have such a sort of unique point to them. Some of her books are deeply, deeply personal, focusing really on, things like her having been assaulted, or her talking about the breakdown of a relationship, or even an affair that she has. But we also have other bits where she sort of recollects bits from her personal history that she doesn't realise at the time have so many other sort of echoes in other parts of her life, or she doesn't realise quite how big they were. She's a writer who I've just really fallen in love with this year. She writes just so powerfully and movingly, but there's also this clever tone to it. She's always aware that she is making a point, but she's also not labouring it. It's very light touch at times, and I think that's what I really appreciate about her work. Very, very exciting that she's won the Nobel Prize. I did a separate video talking about all of the books of hers I'd read at the time, which you can go and check out, which I will link. But I think more exciting than all of that as well is just more people coming and exploring her work. And on that note, this is a pun that I've basically had brewing for a while, and I think I mentioned in that video as well earlier in the year, because I love a good pun, of having Ernauxvember in November, where we just read Annie Ernaux books. And now this is perfect timing. She's won in October. Why not, spend the next couple of weeks getting your hands on some of Annie Ernaux's work. And then I'd love to if people want to join me, I'm going to try and read a couple of hers in the month of November. I would love if some of you would like to join as well and make this an Ernauxvember to remember. That's really cheesy. Let's not go with that tagline. But really, really exciting nonetheless. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on any Annie Ernaux books you've read. I'd say really good starting places are The Years and Exteriors, if you want sort of some of the more political bit, particularly the Years, which I just think is a masterpiece, one of the most incredible things I've read. Or if you want some of the more personal ones, things like Simple Passion, A Girl's Story, things like that, Happening as well, are really good, very deep and personal books, but I just think are stunning for how they're written as well. So lots of places to start with her, and also it means that you get to, particularly if you're in the UK, you get to read her through Fitzcarraldo Press, who really do choose them, given that I think there was a stat of something like out of the last 8 Nobel Prize winners, 3 of them are published in the UK by Fitzcarraldo, which is remarkable, really. So yeah, do go and check her out. Please join me for Ernauxvember, which is incredibly cheesy, but let's do it, where we just read a few books of hers. And regardless, I hope you enjoy reading Ernaux's work. She has so much to give and offer, and it's so exciting that somebody who writes this kind of narrative non-fiction, personal sort of diary-like work is winning a Nobel. So yeah, very, very exciting, and please do check her out. Okay, I've been Bob the Booker. Speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.